Welcome back to Papercraft Possibilities. This is Susan. Today I have something kind of different than I'm normally doing. I was recently invited to a design team, which is called Inspiration Collaboration. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Anyways, this is a card that I'm going to make with some of the celebration papers that came out just this week, Tuesday, the 7th. So I'm going to go ahead and make that up. This was my mock, so there's a couple things I'm going to change, but it's kind of a get well slash inspirational card. So we open this up and there's a surprise, and it's like a little tissue coming out of the box. So more for like a get well, but I wanted to use these bright papers just to kind of brighten someone's day. So we'll go over that here in a little while, but this is kind of the gist of it. And again, I think this is off center a little. I've got a few things here on the front that I'm going to correct, but this is the idea of where we're going. So let me show you some of the cuts that you'll need if you wish to make this card yourself. And then we'll go through the intro and we'll get started. So this is out of the mushroom paper, out of the Stampin' Up set. This is what it'll look like on the opposite side, this stripe. So you'll need 5 and 1 1/4 of that piece. This is the piece we're going to use for our little tissue inside, which is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And this is from the paper called Bokeh. And I believe this is in the new flyer that just came out, or the new mini catalog. This is the same Bokeh. This is 5 3/4. Then we have this little white piece, and we're going to do some die cutting with this. And I suggest you cut this to 3 by 2. Then you need 2 of these, and this is a white piece, and it's 5 1/4 by 4, and that means there's 2 pieces. Then usually the paper that matches the striped paper is apple green for Stampin' Up. I did not have that in my stock, so I'm using Jade from Close to My Heart, trying to finish out some of my papers from them. So this is 5 by 1 1/8. And this is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. So there you go. And I'll also have my hostess code listed down in the description below when I'm done with this video. So let me roll that intro and we'll get started. First I'm going to take, welcome back by the way. First I'm going to take this 2 by 3, I believe is the size of this. And I am using, one of the die cuts from Everyday Details. So I'm going to go back here to my machine and cut this out. I'll be right back. And we're back. So just cut that up. I'm going to put this die back in here. I've learned just to do this right away when I do my die cutting. I'll go back and put that on my magnet here in a few minutes. So here is our die cut. I want to make sure that all of my little holes here are punched out. Please forgive my hands. I've been painting and working around the house, so they're not looking so pretty today. Okay, so onto this. And then I also want to do the inside of my card. I'm going to get my my stamping done right away. So I am using Melon Mambo ink. And what sets I'm using are the Delightful Wishes. And on this set, I'm just using this flower here. And the sentiments on the Grassy Grove is what I'm using. I'm using this right here that says, sometimes you need to know that someone really cares. And then, where is the other part of it? Okay. The inside of this, I had to reread this. Sometimes you need to know that someone really cares, and that someone is me. So these are the 2 sentiments that I'm using on this particular card. So I've gone ahead and I've got them in blocks here. And let's get started. I'm going to bring in my scratch piece of paper here. And let's see what we can do here. So first we want to work on this one. And this is our longer sentiment that'll be going on the front. I'm just going to do a test here. Looks good. So let's see. I'm getting a reflection here. That is a little crooked, so I'm going to go off camera and cut one more. All right, let's try this again. Okay, I've got all my holes are punched out there. Normally, I would have just flipped this over. On a lot of die cuts, you can do that. But if you flip this over, you can tell there's a definite back to this die and a front. I've just noticed I need to punch out one of the holes there. So that's why I couldn't flip it over. But most of the time, you can flip them over. Let me punch this little thing out. Where was it that I saw it? Must have fallen out. Okay, let's try this one more time. I know I'm not alone in this, right, guys? There we go. Much better. So I'm going to put that aside and just let it dry. I'm going to throw this other one away so I don't mix up the two. Now we're going to come into stamping the inside of our card, and we're going to do it a little bit differently because we have our little tissue holder in here. I'm going to stamp it down in the right-hand corner, and that would give someone quite a bit of space up here to write their note to whoever's receiving this. So we have a double stamp here on this one set. So I'm going to stamp the behind, and I'm going to do it in a lighter ink, same ink, but just I'm going to stamp off once, and this will be at full strength, the top portion. So let me show you what I mean. So this now is full strength. We're going to stamp it off once. And now we're going to come over in here and stamp it and see how light that is. See there? Now I'm going to come in full strength. And before I do, you want to kind of line this up and have it ready to go. And let me see if I can show you. I don't necessarily like to have them lined up just perfect. I like to have them kind of offset. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You kind of want to get it close, but it doesn't have to be perfect. I like that look. So, but you do you, right? Let's see. Takes a while to figure out how you want this to go. I think that's good. Right in there. It'll work. And this is at full strength. There we go. I like that. And these inks will dry lighter. So right now it looks dark, but it will dry lighter. So let me stamp this off a couple times. I'll come in when we're done and do my scrubbing of those. And then we have this one that says that someone is me. And what I want to do is stamp this up by the flower. Let me test it first. Yep, we're good. There we go. So there is our inside. So now let's start putting it all together. I have learned to be careful with the ink pads. When you put them back in, I tend to get my hands all over them, so I have to be careful. Okay, so let's put together the outside first. So first we have our white layer that will go down, and I'm going to use some tear and tape on this just because I noticed once I put the tissue in that it started to come up just a little, and our tear and tape is stronger than your glues and that kind of thing. So let's put this down here. Okay, and one more. Forgot about the middle. Okay, here we go. You want to make sure you have even borders here. I'm happy with that. So down it goes. Just notice I have a little mark there. Let me see if I can get out my sanding eraser. If you don't have one of these in your office, your craft room, I would suggest you get one. They're only a couple dollars on YouTube or on Amazon. But they kind of take off a top layer of the paper, kind of sand it down a little. You can usually take off some of the boo-boos. So next we have this, actually we have our bokeh layer next. Bokeh. Is that paper pretty? I think it's just happy. Okay, we're gonna put that one down in there, and I am going to use my normal tape for this one. And I try and get it as close to the edge on this one as I can because it wants to lift once you put your tissue in there. So let's see. I think I'm pretty good, just about there. All right, we'll put that one off camera for a minute. Now we're gonna do these two layers. And first what you wanna do is you wanna put down your green layer. And if you're using the jade color from Close to My Heart, I am using the darker side. The flip side is excuse me, I'm using the darker if I said that incorrectly. The flip side is the lighter side. And just get this as close as you can. There'll be no margin on your left and right sides. Just get it in the middle of the stripe as best you can. Maybe not press it down real tight, just in case you need to do what I'm gonna do right now. And just kind of make sure it's centered, that you like it. Okay, I'll put that down. Now I'm gonna flip this over and I'm gonna bring in my tear and tape again. And what we're gonna do, and this will save us some ribbon. We're going to put down some tear and tape on both of the ends here. And we're gonna take off 2 more pieces and have them ready to go. Just put them here. And we're gonna take off, well, let's see, let me make sure. Yeah, we're okay. We're gonna take this off again. Where is my tool? Okay. So we're gonna take one end of this, and you could probably cut this shorter, which I think I might do, just so there's not so much bulk behind it. We're gonna take it over the tear and tape and just put part of it there. We're gonna flip around to the other side, and you don't want this to make the paper bow like that because it'll end up being shorter than you need. So bring this over here. And I'm just realizing it's not centered. Let me get that centered a little bit better. And coming over like this. And I'm just gonna hold that, get it where I want it. Make sure it's loose. And this is just gonna hold it all in place. So now what we're going to do is we're gonna put tear and tape here again, just to make sure that this stays where it needs to stay, because sometimes it'll just slip if you only have one piece. So I found 2 pieces is a better thing to have. So pull that off. And oops, here we go again, guys. Okay. Now I'm gonna pull out my dimensional dots here, and I'm just gonna put them kind of going down the side because our ribbon here has a little bit of a bump to it anyways. So we'll just kind of do it here. And I'm gonna have to pull out another sheet here. I think that'll do it. Let me pull these off. The release tape here. Good thing that's coming off easier than the others. Oops. Okay. If you haven't had a chance to check out the celebration, make sure you do. I'll make sure it's linked down below. I had to order just some paper the other day, yes, actually last night, and I was able to get some stuff for free. Okay. You want this to line up with your pink paper there from the Bokeh collection. Okay, so there's that. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make an overhead knot like this one. And I'm gonna pull out my, actually it says mini, but I think these are the larges. Maybe not, let me see. Here's my large one. So what we're gonna do is, this is a ribbon I'm using and it's called frayed gross grain ribbon. So I'm gonna cut a piece of this off. And we'll do an overhead knot. I'm not gonna make it real tight. I'm gonna make it kind of a loose knot here, and it'll make it lay softer and, you know, not so bulky. I'm gonna cut it down just a little. I think I need to cut this one better. It's not at an angle. Of course, I think the other side needs to be trimmed up a little. Okay. So let's take one of our large glue dots here. I'm gonna kind of roll it into a ball here a little. Put it on the back. Actually, it went on my finger. I'm gonna put it on the back of my ribbon. And I'm gonna put it over here in the left-hand corner. Just press that down. Okay, now we're gonna come in and with our sentiment, we're gonna put that up here. And let me get some of my trash out of the way. Looks like you're so far away, guys. Let me bring you in closer. Sorry if that was too far away. On your 3D or dimensional dots, make sure to use these other pieces on the side. Definitely can use those. Just cut like this with your scissors, and then you can come in and use those. You don't want to throw those away. So come in here with this. And we'll do this one. And let's see what I can do with this corner up here. It's going to be too big. Let's cut this in half. All right. There we go. And by the way, if you didn't sign up for our card class that I'm offering once a month, in my last video, I did show the cards that we're making, and everyone seems to really like them, which makes my day. So you can sign up for that class, or if you purchase anything over $50 before tax and shipping and use my hostess code, I'll send those to you for free. So there's the front. So now let's get started on the inside. So what we need to do to make our tissue box is we need to make sure that this is down first. So make sure that you like that, how it fits. And I'm going to bring in my tape. And I like it just about there. And here's the piece that's going to make our tissue box. So what I need to do is I need to score that. So some extra leftover paper there. I want to come in a 1/2 inch on, actually, let's make it a 1/4 inch. Let's see how that looks. So this is, remember, this is your scoring and this is your cutting. If you're using, I'll get it on screen here. If you're using the one from Stampin' Up, so you want to use your gray. So there's a score there at a 1/4 inch. Let's come in here at a 1/4 inch. Okay. Okay, we'll put that aside again. And I'm going to fold this in half. I could have scored that while I was in there doing that, but we'll do this by hand. All right, we're back. I went off screen and had to redo this. It just was bothering me that the paper had torn. I was just a little bit too rough with it. So let me go ahead and score this a little bit better here. My bone folder. And now the score lines that we made, we're gonna turn those under. So we have a 1/4 inch at each side. Okay, so the piece that you've cut out is gonna go at the top. This crease that you've made is gonna go right in the middle. And then you've got this other piece here. So what I wanna do, because on my other one, if you'll notice, it was, where did it go? It was off center. Here it is. Because I was guessing. I wanna be a little bit, hopefully you saw that I just flashed it really quick. I wanna be a little bit more careful, and I can fix some pencil marks later. So I think what I wanna do is put something right there and something right there. And I think that's pretty much the middle. Maybe I need to come over just a little bit more. Let me take these off. Okay, let's do this. And this, it's probably the same thing. Okay, and I have to apologize. You want to do this with glue, but I have a very small tip on my glue that I like to use here, which is the Barely Art glue. And my really tiny outlet broke today, so I've had to order some more. And it broke because I did it, not anything the company did. So I've got to be careful because it wants to overdo the glue. And what I learned from another crafter recently is just to let it kind of sit there for a few minutes. It'll kind of harden up before you make a mess on your project, especially on something like this. So I'm going to try and line it up here with my lines. I've got it in the crease right here. And I think we're good there. We're good on the crease, and you're going to take this side, make sure it's folded under. And let's just hold it there for a minute before we start playing around with it. Looks like it might be a little crooked here, but I think it'll be okay. Now, what I want to tell you is a little secret about this one. I got some pink ink here, so I went ahead and I put these gems here, and they're from this set, which is called Purple Adhesive Backed Sequins. And I came in and I used these, which work really well. But again, if you're sending this to someone, I would say forget well. You may not want to use these sequins. I was just trying to cover up a boo-boo. But then again, if you're sending this to someone who you're trying to send encouragement to, you may want to use these. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put them back down. So I'm going to use, I believe there's 2 sizes here, looks like it. So I'm going to put one there. That's a big one. Get this one out of the way. We're going to put that one there. And let's put this one over in here. They match beautifully. I love the colors with that. So now we have one thing left to do. And I have literally pulled a tissue off of in my office here. And let me see, I want to kind of cover up some of the raw edges here. And I'm gonna fold it over and fold it over. And I'm gonna kind of gently, with my finger, take this and put this in through the hole and pull this up. Trying to be careful with it. There you go. So now you have a little tissue box there. So, finished card. This is what we look like here, coming on the inside. You may want to use less tissue in there, but you get the idea. So, there we go. So I want to again thank the Inspiration Collaboration team for bringing me on, and you'll be seeing challenges each month from all of us. And I'll list everyone's links down below. I'll list my hostess code down below and everything that I've used to make this card. Hopefully you've enjoyed this and you've earned some value from this video. And if you have, I would appreciate a thumbs up and would love to hear from you in the comments. Until next time, bye-bye.